Is it fun?
Yes. Thank you. Has just that box away track. Let's start over. That is such a fancy track we have here. Just like this. Wow! Get out the way, Dad! Stop sign! Go sign! Stop sign! No! Get your stop sign out! Go sign. Stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. Like this. Let's pretend number 8. This is a Humpty Dumpty. That's on the wall. Get out of there! That looks like a chicken finger. That looks like a chicken finger. That is very hard chicken finger.
What else can you make?
Cranky. Yeah, that looks this kind of stuff. Let's do it. This or that. I will say.
That looks like an octopus. Can you make a triangle?
No.
You can do it.
The circle's breaking to a crescent.
This is a rectangle. This is a triangle.
Triangle! This is a triangle!
Oh, that's a nice Christmas dinner.
Focus, focus. 1, 2, 3.
A nice crescent shape.
I am gonna destroy it.
Hi there, RC Girl here today. Super excited to have a review of an unboxing and first run of a 1/12 scale RC car ready to run straight out of the box. So this car is not going to break the bank. It's probably great for people that are trying to get into the RC car sport and really don't know where to start. They might not have the right tools or batteries and chargers and all that, and this does have replaceable parts as well. Supposedly it can go up to 30 miles an hour. Comes on Amazon, so let's open her up. Or him. Ooh, exciting. The official name is the Top Racing Series Tornado. Kind of cool. A desert buggy. To me it looks more like a truggy. So they call them shock absorbers. I think those are just our shocks. They come with springs on them. I'm going to take those apart and see if you can actually add oil to them. Comes with full metal bearings, rubber tires. We also have a high-speed motor. It is a brushed motor, which is maybe not as efficient as a brushless motor, but I think it's a good start if you're trying to get into the hobby. And then we have metal gear diffs, which is great, and a rudder machine. I think that's also known as your servo. It's also a four-wheel drive, so it's going to be great for going on dirt. And it comes with a radio as well. It comes with one LiPo 7.4 volt 2-cell battery, 1500 milliamps. This is rated to ages 14 and up. Perhaps could be used at younger ages with adult supervision, but please do use it at your own risk. I also thought it was funny that says, "This is not a toy." Oops, sorry, Dante. Alright, so here we have our user manual, and we also have the wing. Looks like we have our remote here. We'll open that up in a second. Got some bubble wrap. Oh, that's pretty cool looking. Some packing material. Put that to the side. Alright, here we go. Take it out. We'll open that up in a second. So it's a decent size. This is their 1/12 scale. So I also have the Triple XT 1/10 scale, and I also have a 1/8 scale buggy. So this is a little bit smaller, but I think it's a good size if you're not trying to get too crazy when you first start with the sport. We have some body clips on the body. So here we have her body. It's pretty flexible. I also have a video of how to reinforce your body, so I'm probably gonna do that with the drywall joint tape and the goop. I'll put the video link here. This is a pretty decent body. It also has a film on it protecting it. And here we have the innards of the car. We have a protecting case probably on the receiver, and I believe the battery can be accessed via this little port here on the bottom. Just kind of an interesting way to put a battery in a car. Just twist this little knob here. You press down to open it. All right, there we go. And we also have the on-off switch here on the bottom. Another thing to point out, which I'm super stoked about, is that it has some headlights. Cool, so we'll have to take a look at those. We have our brushed motor where there's positive and negative connectors here. And then here we have a casing that has 4 screws here holding it in. And this is where our receiver is for the radio, the transmitter. And here's our servo. We have 2 metal diff boxes, one here and one here in the back. One thing I'm noticing that doesn't have a ton of dampening, but that might be tunable, did come with some of the shock spacers. So I'm just going to set the car aside and we're going to open up our radio. So it's kind of just your standard radio. We have our drive trim, our steering trim here. We have an LED power button in the middle. We have our bind button, so that'll bind your remote to your receiver in the car. We also have the on and off power switch here. And then this is our wheel to turn the car. It also takes 3 AA batteries, which did not come with the car, but I would recommend perhaps getting some USB rechargeable ones because these tend to eat battery power if you leave them on especially. And it's a 2.4 gigahertz system. Supposedly you can go up to 50 meters away. So let's see what's in our little bag of tricks. So here we have the instructions. I'm curious to see what they include in these. Basically has instructions in every language possible, but I think it is pretty cool that it does give you all the breakaway parts. So if you do end up breaking anything, it gives you the part numbers here and you can just easily order those online. And one thing that you'll learn if you're just getting into RC is that although we are careful with these, they are breakable. We also have a little tool here. It looks like it's a hex tool, probably to get our wheels off, and it comes with some spare teeny tiny body clips. It also comes with a Phillips head screwdriver, some spare dog bones and axles. I'm assuming that's because those might be fragile parts. Let's see what's in some of these boxes. This is our battery charger, and it's a 500 milliamp output. So this is actually charging at 1/3 of what the battery can handle, so it's going to be a really slow charge rate. Supposedly it takes about 2 to 3 hours to charge a battery, which is a pretty long time, and we'll have to see how long it runs for, but I think I'm going to definitely not use this and use my higher end chargers for charging the battery. While I wait for the battery to charge, I'm going to get to know this thing a little better. Take it apart. Alright, and as I mentioned, you don't need a complete tool set. It seems to come with all the pieces that you need. Alright, so first we're going to attach the spoiler. It looks like it just attaches in the rear here. Snaps on, and then you attach it with some body pins. Cool. It's pretty nice. And then we're going to take off these screws here and just kind of open this up and see what's inside. A little fortress getting in there. Alright, so here we have our receiver and our motor connecting to the receiver, and then looks like we have one of the lines here to our lights, and then we have our connector here to our servo. And I don't see you needing to open this up much, but I just wanted to open it to give you guys a look at what's inside. So now let's open up a shock. So it looks like they're attached here with 2 Phillips head screws. We'll take one off and take a look inside. So here's our shock. Let's take it apart even further. I'm not quite sure what spring rate these are, but I'll link to a video where you can figure out what your spring rate is and see if you need softer or stiffer spring. So there's no real way to add dampening to this with shock oil, but I think it's a great introductory shock. We'll see how it handles when we do our first run. So next, let's take off one of our tires. Looks like one of the pins came out, so we're going to want to reattach that in there. Looks like it's a little bit loose. So I'm not sure if that's happening for all the tires, but we're going to want to make sure that this pin is inserted back in position, and then insert the nut back on. So here we have our tire. I'm not sure if there's foam on the inside, but it's your standard hex. The tread is pretty interesting. It looks like a good off-road tread. We'll test it out on some dirt outside in a second. All right, we're gonna reassemble the car, and I'm gonna take the film off of the car as well, off of the body. It's always really satisfying to do this. So after looking the car over, my initial impressions are that it seems to be a good intro truggy that'll get you in the sport. Has some decent rubber tires, it's waterproof, it's 4-wheel drive, has some cool lights. I was sold with the lights. Brush motor, which is not as efficient. Another thing is that you can't tune the shocks with shock oil. All right, so now let's stop the yapping, start the brapping, take it outside, and get it dirty. The car. Can't believe I just said that. I'm gonna take it for the first run. It's actually really fast. I'm surprised. I mean, I can notice right away that the shocks aren't super great, but it also has reverse, forward. So it looks like I already lost a clip on the wing, but it did come with some spares, so thank goodness. Whoa! This is like full throttle right here. Battery's not completely charged, but... Alright, now we're going to do some speed runs and see how it handles on the road. Whoa, whoops. Careful. Might have to adjust the steering trim, it's on the side. Before I do that, let's adjust the steering trim. Whoops. One thing I've noticed is there's a little bit of play in some of the parts, so I had to adjust the steering trim. Gotta try out some donuts. I think Dante approves. He always likes the smaller cars for some reason. Get it. Do a little run at night. We got the lights on and recharged the battery, so that was a couple hours ago. We're gonna give it a second run. Thanks for tuning into my unboxing review and first run of the Tornado from Rolytoy. It's the 4x4 off-road vehicle. I was actually pleasantly surprised. It handled really well on the terrain here. It's great that it's waterproof, and again, Christmas is coming up, so anyone on your Christmas list, definitely consider this car. If you click the link, the Amazon link below, you can get it right now for $99. There was a little bit of play in the wheels, and again, the shocks aren't as tunable, but other than that, I think it's tons of fun. And I know Dante definitely approved of it. So I got a couple more videos down the pipeline. I have another review coming up and some videos on weatherproofing your car because winter's coming up. Stay tuned and I will see you next time.